check it myself. All right. Okay. So I think that I have done regular verbs with you, correct? So have you all gone through the syllabus, gone through the course, and gone through the slides that I sent you for regular verbs? Yes, regular verbs. Thank you so much, Ronit and Riyanka, for confirming. I've done regular verbs. All right. So today there are two topics that I can do with you. I can either continue and complete verbs with you, or I can do adverbs with you. So what do you want to do today? Adverbs or irregular verbs? There are two topics I can do. Adverbs? Because in the end we have to complete both. It's not that we will only be doing verbs. We will complete both in the end. But irregular verbs are also very important because there we will be learning verbs like to go, that is to, which means going to some place, right? Yes. So now that I can see some of you, I will ask you questions also. Okay? So you have to be very attentive when you are listening to. That's very important. Okay? Today we are going to do adverbs. Okay. Let me complete adverbs. Next day I'm going to complete irregular verbs. Okay. So the part of verbs will be complete for us. Okay. And then I also want to make a preparatory session for you so that you have any questions. I'll get back to you with that, or you can discuss something before the exam, before the final exam. I want to keep a class where you can clear all your doubts. Okay. So today let us do adverbs. So what are adverbs? What are adverbs? Do you remember what are adverbs? There is a definition of adverbs. And we only do adverbs after learning verbs, which means that verbs are very important to understand adverbs. What are adverbs? Do you have any idea? What are adverbs in Spanish or in English? Any of you have any idea what are adverbs? You have not done adverbs before, is it so? Or you forgotten? You have done or you have forgotten? What is it? So I will tell you what adverbs are. Okay? So an adverb is a word that modifies a verb. Okay? It modifies a verb. Okay? An adjective, another adverb, or even a whole sentence. Okay? Adverbs often end in ly. So if you hear of something like slowly, loudly, rudely, smartly, all these things are adverbs. Remember, there is one thing which I used when I was like learning English, that I always wanted to know like how can we identify that a particular word is an adverb. And at that time, my mom said that any word that ends in ly is an adverb. So whenever you want to know what is an adverb, remember that adverbs usually end in ly. Okay? They often end in ly, but some, such as fast, the word fast, look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. Okay? Yes. So see, I've given you the definition of adverb. Now, how to use it? Don't worry, you'll be learning that in the class itself. Okay? How to use adverbs. But always remember that for an adverb to exist, it is very important for us to understand verbs properly. Okay? That is very, very important. So whenever we are learning adverbs, I wanted to do verbs with you before this, so that when you learn adverbs, you can relate with the verbs and then you can understand adverbs better. Okay. So ready? Shall we go ahead? So I'm sharing the slides with you, and just let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. Is it visible? Visible, guys? Okay. Great. Okay. Great. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Shubhana, Ronit, and Riyanka. Right? Great. So pay a lot of attention because I'll be asking you and taking names as well, okay, when I'm teaching. So that is very important. Pay a lot of attention because I'll be discussing things with you. Okay. find that you're not listening to me properly, then be aware. I'll be asking you questions as well from adverb itself. Okay. So listen and write down. Take notes from this. So let's go ahead. So an adverb is a word that I said that modifies, which means basically describes a verb. For example, when we say he sings loudly, or she, speaks smartly. Okay, whatever we say, the word is like sing, speak. Okay, all these are verbs, right? And the words which modify that particular verb, like loudly. For example, here I said that he sings loudly. Okay, which means that loudly is modifying or describing the way in which the person is singing. Correct. So loudly is an adverb because it adds on to the sentiment of the verb. Okay, you can remember it that way. Anything which adds on to the sentiment of the verb is an adverb. Okay, is that clear? And also, it can also modify an adjective like very tall. So, tall is an adjective. When I say the tree is, very tall, the tree is the noun, tall is the adjective, very is the adverb. Let me know this clearly because adverbs are a very important part of any grammatical sentence. They emphasize certain meanings and words. Without adverbs, you will not be able to become expressive. Okay. So adverbs can modify either verbs. For example, he sings loudly. Loudly is an adverb. It can also modify an adjective or another adverb. For example, when somebody says, the movie ended too quickly. The movie ended too quickly. When I say too quickly, quickly is an adverb. When I say too quickly, too is again a second modifier of quick. Guys, is this clear? Yes? All of you, is this clear? Bianca, is this clear? Are you understanding? Too quickly, why? Too is also an adverb. Did you get that point? When I say that an adverb also modifies another adverb, not just verbs and adjectives. Yes, guys. Okay, I hope that you're understanding this because sometimes it's not that adverbs will only, modify adjectives and like verbs. They can also modify another adverb. Okay. For example, too quickly, too fast. Okay. Too rapidly. Okay. Or very fast. Okay. All these things. Or even a whole sentence. Fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. When I say fortunately, I had brought an umbrella, the adverb is actually modifying the whole sentence of I had brought an umbrella. Directly, it is actually modifying the fact that you have brought an umbrella. That's a verb, brought. But it's actually making sense for a whole sentence, right? So adverbs have multiple uses. This is the standard definition of adverbs. So you go through this and understand this before you start applying this. Adverbs often end in ly, but some of them, for example, fast, look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. For example, she ran very fast. Okay, the girl ran very fast. The fact that the girl ran fast, fast is modifying the verb of run. So obviously, fast is an adverb. It's not an adjective, right? But it does not end in ly. So this is an exception. Okay, there are a lot of things you will get to know them gradually. Okay? Spanish adverbs aren't that different from those in English, but there are a few tricks about how to identify them and where to put them in a sentence. Okay, there are certain ways. If you learn that, it will be easier for you to understand that. Okay, so let me go ahead. And next, Spanish nouns. Spanish adverbs have no gender, number, or person, but occasionally you can add a diminutive with a suffix. Okay, you can add a diminutive with a suffix. For example, the word called pronto in Spanish. What is the meaning of pronto in Spanish? What is pronto, guys? What is pronto? There is a meaning of pronto in Spanish. What is pronto in Spanish? Okay, I'll come back to your question later. What is pronto, guys? There's a meaning of pronto. Pronto has a meaning in Spanish. What is that? Ronita and Rima has given me some answers. What about the others? Yes. What about the others? Subarna? Where are you? So what is pronto in Spanish? What is pronto? And I cannot even see your video. If your video is still not on, you can leave the class. No issue. So please don't stay like ghosts in the class. I want human beings to be here and interact with you. I don't want shadows to be in the class. Please don't. Okay? When you're ready to switch on the video, come back. So pronto means fast, okay, or soon. Pronto, okay. Can be soon, fast. It can also be early, depending on the situation. Okay, pronto means fast or soon. When I say prontito, okay, so in Spanish there is a way of modifying, okay, certain adverbs by using suffixes. Diminutive is a short form. Okay, diminutive means a short form. Diminutive means like something which is happening faster or earlier or quicker than the original form. For example, when I say when pronto means come fast. Okay, when pronto. When I say when prontito, it means come very fast. That's a diminutive form. You understanding what I'm saying? Okay. Pronto means fast. Prontito means very fast. Also, there is something called as ahora. Ahora means now. Okay. So, at this question, Priyanka at this question, right? So, ahora means now. Okay. There are some certain parts in Latin America where they say ahorita. Ahorita. Okay? Ahorita means right now. Okay. When ahora, when a mi casa ahora, come to my house now. When a mi casa ahorita, come to my house right now. That is a diminutive. Okay. That is how diminutives work in Spanish. Nice? Am I clear? That is how diminutives work. Okay. So poco, similarly, poco means little. Okay, small. Poquito means very small or very little, as it said. Cerca means close. Okay, cerca means close. Cerquita means very close. Cerquita means very close. Okay. Despacio means very slow. Sorry, slowly. Despacito means very slow. Okay. So ito and ita are usually suffixes which are used to make the diminutive forms, okay, of certain adverbs. Alright. So have you heard of the song called Despacito by Luis Fonsi? There's a very famous song called Despacito. So if you have not heard, I want all of you to hear that song. Okay. It's a very famous song and it's more than I think 2 to 3 years old. I remember singing to the song in the lockdown. Okay, I had some friends and they said that since we don't have a lot of work to do, you sing a song. And then I rehearsed a little bit and I sang Despacito in Spanish and I recorded that and I sent it to my friends. So we did that. Okay, it's by Luis Fonsi. You can listen to it. It's a beautiful song. Okay? Despacito. It's a Spanish song. Okay. So this is what in brief adverbs are. Now let us go ahead. We can also add augmentative suffixes. What are those? For example, lejos can become lejísimo, means very far. Lejos is a word which means far. Okay, lejísimo means very far. Okay, it's basically adding on, stressing on to the word of lejos. Okay, despacio. Despacio means slowly. Despacísimo is extremely slow. Okay, so ísimo and ísima are also used define certain adverbs, okay, and to either augment them or make them smaller. For smaller, we usually use ito, rita. For something which I want to say, which is like very slow or extremely loud, I'll be using the suffixes of isimo or isimo. Okay, I'm gonna use that. The main characteristic of Spanish adverbs is that they complement the point that we are trying to make. Okay, they represent the circumstances of time, place, and mode in which an action basically occurs. Now, let us see how everything happens. How do you form an adverb in Spanish? Spanish adverbs modify or go with verbs, okay? They can also go with adjectives or other adverbs, okay? So, how do they go with verbs? For example, when I say something like corre rápidamente, corre rápidamente, it means run quickly. Corre rápidamente. Adjectives. Más lento. Lento means slow. When I say más lento, it means very slow or slower. Okay? Más lento. For example, anda lento. Anda lento means walk slow. When I say someone, anda más lento, it means walk slower. Okay? It means walk slower. You can spot these easily because they go before the adjective. Other adverbs are like bastante, pretty far, bastante. Okay, it's an adverb. You will get a Spanish adverb from an adjective by adding the ending called mente. Okay, M-E-N-T, mente. Here are a few examples of Spanish adverbs which are ending in mente and how they form. So remember, in English we say that ly, the words which end in ly are usually adverbs. Here, there are verbs which end in mente in Spanish. In Spanish, we do not say ly. It does not end in ly. Moreover, it ends in mente. For example, general means general. Okay, general. For example, when I say en general means in general or general. When I want to say generally, okay, it will be generalmente. So you can either say en general or you can say generalmente. Okay? Generalmente, which means general. Okay. So see, in English it is ending in ly. In Spanish it is ending in mente. Okay. Ocasional means occasional. Ocasionalmente is occasional. Okay. Ocasionalmente is occasional. Frecuente means frequent. Frecuentemente means frequent. Okay. Frequent. Suave. Suave means soft. Suavemente means softly. There is one more song called Suavemente. You can listen to that as well. There's a song called Suavemente. I don't remember the name of the singer. There is a song in Spanish, okay? Despacito and Suavemente. Listen to the song. Rápido means quick and rapidamente means quick. Okay? That is how we will have to form the adverbs. Is this clear till now, guys? Are you understanding how to form adverbs and how they are formed? I want an answer from everyone. Or you can also raise your hands. Okay, all of you. Yeah. Good to see you, Riva. Finally, you switched on your video. All of you keep your videos on, okay? So this is very common and it's very easy to understand Spanish adverbs, right? There is general rule attached to this kind of adverb, and you can see that the same rule applies to the English language, where you just add the suffix ly to the adjectives. One more thing you need to keep in mind is that if we want to use two adverbs with the suffix mente in the same sentence, the first one will be used as an adjective and the second one will have the mente suffix. So let me give you the example. For example, hice el camino de Santiago lenta y tranquilamente. Okay, so there is a certain form of word which we have not done yet. That is a past tense. Okay, of the verb called hacer. Hacer means to do in Spanish. Here I have written hice el camino de Santiago. Hice means I did. Okay, I did means hice. Hice el camino de Santiago lenta y tranquilamente. I did the Camino de Santiago slowly and calmly. So see, in English I'm saying twice, slowly and calmly. Right? In English I'm saying it twice. In Spanish I'm only saying it once. Lenta y tranquilamente. I'm not saying lentamente y tranquilamente. I'm just saying lenta y tranquilamente. Is this clear, guys? Lenta y tranquilamente. It is not lentamente y tranquilamente. It is lenta y tranquilamente. Why? Because there are two adverbs which came one after another. Two adverbs which came one after another. Okay? Lenta y tranquilamente. And in these cases, we will only be saying mente once. That is after the second adjective. Is this part clear, guys? Yes. Clear? Are you understanding why mente is only used once and not twice? Because that is the way everything goes. Okay. Yeah. Understood, Rima? How everything goes? All right. Let me move ahead. So I have here given you. So now that you understand the basics of adverbs, we do not have a lot of techniques or technology to understand adverbs. Adverbs are very easy. I have given you some examples of the most used adverbs in Spanish. Okay, and I'll be dividing the class on adverbs into two classes. I will not be doing it in one class because there are quite a few Spanish adverbs which we have to learn from our heart. Okay, there are quite a few. So the first class I've given you around 50 adverbs, and I think second class I've given you some exercises, and there are certain other rules I've also given. We'll be doing it next week. So the first adverb, okay, is antes. Antes means before. So here, say I've given you Spanish adverbs of time, which will help you provide information about when, how often, or for how long something happens. So these are more, you see, antes means before. These are also called adverbs of time in Spanish because they define the time in which certain things are happening. Okay, that is why they are called as adverbs of time. Okay. Now, here's a short list of Spanish adverbs, okay, and you have to learn this with your whole heart because when you do it, you'll be able to understand the nitty-gritties of Spanish language. The first one, antes de comer aceitunas, prefiero patatas fritas, okay. Antes de comer means before eating. So when I say before eating olives, I would prefer chips. Antes de comer aceitunas, prefiero patatas fritas. Patatas fritas means chips, the kind of chips which we all like to have when we were kids, right? Chips, you all love chips, right? Is there somebody who has preference for which chips they like? When I was young, I used to like the Indian masala flavors a lot. Like blue lace is my favorite. I love it. And I also used to like green kurkure. These are all my favorite. Patatas fritas, okay? That is chips in Spanish, they call it patatas fritas. Why patatas fritas? Because frito means fried and patata means potato. Chips is basically fried potato, right? So they call it patatas fritas. That's it. So antes de comer aceituna. Aceituna means olive, yes. It means olive. Okay, it means antes de comer aceitunas, prefiero patatas fritas. That is basically I like. Prefiero means I prefer patatas fritas. Okay. I'm not using the personal pronoun because prefiero itself means I. You don't have to double use I, you. Okay. Now, second one, después. Okay. Después means después de las 5 no suelo comer nada. After 5, I usually do not eat anything. I usually do not eat anything. Okay? Después de las 5. When I did Spanish numbers, I told you what is the meaning of 5. Okay? Después de las 5 no suelo comer nada. After 5 p.m., I usually do not eat. Okay? Hoy. Hoy means today. Hoy es el Día de la Madre. Today is Mother's Day. Día de la Madre means Mother's Day. Mañana means tomorrow. Mañana tengo clase de ballet. I have ballet class tomorrow. I have ballet class tomorrow. Mañana tengo clase de ballet. Anoche means last. Anoche means last night. Okay? Anoche. Anoche soñé con mi padre. Anoche soñé con mi padre. What is the meaning of that? Anoche soñé con mi padre. Last night I dreamt of my father. Okay. Last night I dreamt of my father. Anoche means last night. Soñé means I dreamt. Con mi padre. And also one thing exciting in Spanish, they never say something like I dreamt about my father. They will say soñar con alguien, which means to dream about something. When you say soñar con algo, okay, it means to dream about something. Soñar con algo means to dream about it. Okay, so remember the way they say that they dreamed about something. Next one. Antenoche means the night before yesterday. Antenoche no pude dormir. I could not sleep the night before yesterday. I could not sleep the night before yesterday. Ayer means yesterday. Ayer fue el cumpleaños de mi hermano. It was my brother's birthday yesterday. Okay? Ayer fue el cumpleaños de mi hermano. Cumpleaños means birthday. It was my brother's birthday yesterday. Anteayer. Again, anteayer means anteayer. Anteayer comí pasta. I had pasta the day before yesterday. Anteayer basically means antes de ayer. Sometimes it's also called antier, okay? But we will say antiacha because that is a standard form, okay? Ya means already. Ya llegaron los pedidos pendientes. So here I've used the past form. Llegaron means they came or it came, okay? They came. Past form. So arrive. When I say ya llegaron los pedidos pendientes, it means the pending orders have already arrived. The pending orders have already arrived. Okay? Pedidos pendientes means pending orders, right? Okay? Pending orders. Siempre. Siempre means always in Spanish. Siempre suelo quedarme dormida viendo la tele. I always fall asleep watching TV. I always fall asleep watching TV. Okay? And also you can say, estamos amigos para siempre. We are friends forever. Estamos amigos para siempre. We are friends forever. Okay? Todavía. Todavía means yet. Todavía no me han llegado los pedidos. My orders haven't arrived yet. Okay? My orders have not arrived yet. Todavía no me han llegado los pedidos. Pedido means order, something that you ask for. That is pedido. Okay? That is pedido. Ahora means now. Ahora voy al gimnasio. I am going to the gym now. Ahora voy al gimnasio. Also, you can say soy feliz aquí y ahora. I'm happy here and now. Aquí y ahora is a very, common word, word cluster. Aquí y ahora. Here and now. Okay, be happy here and now. Say feliz here and now. Aquí y ahora. Okay, that is be here and now. Okay, and be your best today, right now, right here. Aquí y ahora is used in these cases. Tarde means late. Maite siempre llega media hora tarde cuando llegamos. Maite siempre llega media hora tarde cuando llegamos. Maite always arrives half an hour late when we meet. Luego means later. You all know that. I always say that vamos a vernos luego, right? Luego means later. For example, nos vemos luego. Will I see you later? Or hasta luego is also used. Mientras. What is the meaning of mientras? Mientras means while. Okay. Corrió hacia su coche mientras llovía. He ran towards his car while it was raining. And recién means freshly. No pases. El suelo está recién fregado. Do not pass over here. The floor is freshly scrubbed. Also, we can say recién nacido. A very newborn child is called as recién nacido. Recién nacido means like the newborn child. Okay? Recién nacido. Recién nacido. Okay? Nacer means to be born. Recién means recent, just born. Okay? Recién nacido means just born. So although in English adverbs of frequency and adverbs of time are considered separate categories, in Spanish they fall under the same category. The following Spanish adverbs of frequency will help you describe how frequently you do something. Whether you go to gym every often, for example, voy al gimnasio a menudo, or every day voy al gimnasio todos los días, you can tell people about it using these adverbs. Okay, so these are basically adverbs of frequency. For example, semanalmente, meaning weekly. For example, we have a weekly Spanish class, right? Once every week. Tenemos la clase un día cada semana, es decir, tenemos la clase semanalmente. Okay, semanalmente means weekly. Siempre, siempre means always in Spanish. For example, suelo ir a la piscina semanalmente. I usually go to the pool weekly. Siempre voy al gimnasio los lunes. I always go to the gym on Mondays. I always go to the gym on Mondays. Okay? Mucho means a lot. Yo voy mucho al gimnasio. And actualmente means currently. That is actualmente vivo del alquiler de mi casa. Currently, I live renting my house. Alquiler means rent. Nice. Is this clear? You understanding adverbs? Any questions? Yeah. Any of you any questions? Are you clear with this? Yes. Everyone? Okay. Good, Ronald. All right. What about the others? Ronit, Subarna. What about the others? Rohini, Shreya, Shaturupa, Shayuk, Shubham. Snehajit. Yeah. Please switch on your videos, guys. Yeah. Okay. Frecuentemente again means frequently. Mi perro se pierde frecuentemente. Recientemente means recently. He perdido a mi perro recientemente. I have lost my dog recently. These are all examples you would memorize. There's nothing to very much understand this. Again, diariamente means daily. Suelo meditar diariamente. I meditate daily. Nunca means never. Nunca me llegan las cosas a tiempo. I never get my things on time. Nunca me llegan las cosas a tiempo. I never get my things on time. Raramente is rarely. Usualmente is usually. Por ejemplo, usualmente no bebo alcohol. Raramente me cuestiono sobre la vida. I rarely ask myself about life. Normalmente is normally, okay? Normalmente mi padre tiene pan en casa. Normally my dad has bread at home. Todo el tiempo means all the time. Mi pareja suele quejarse todo el tiempo cuando ve la tele. My partner complains all the time while he watches TV. De vez en cuando, ¿okay? Suelo ir a jugar baloncesto de vez en cuando con mis amigas. I play basketball from time to time with my friends. Anualmente means annual. Okay? Mi gato tiene sus vacunas anualmente. Vacuna means vaccine in Spanish. Okay? Vacuna is vaccine. And gato means cat. A veces sometimes, a veces salgo a patinar por el paseo marítimo. Sometimes I go roller skating along the seaside. Okay? Poco means little. Salgo muy poco de fiesta. I go out very little. Salgo muy poco means I go out very little for parties. Okay? Salir de fiesta means to go out on parties in Spanish. That is salir de fiesta. Okay? Give me a second, guys. Okay, again, apenas. Apenas means hardly in Spanish. Apenas puedo ir al teatro. I hardly ever go to the theater. Jamás means never in Spanish. Jamás llego tarde a mis clases de ballet. I never arrive late to my ballet lessons. Now, Spanish adverbs of place. Previously we had time, yes, and we had time and frequency. Now let's look at the Spanish adverbs of place. Where is your phone? Is it here? Did you lose your glasses? Are they close or far away? When I say all these things, we are using the Spanish adverbs of place, not of time, but of place. These useful Spanish adverbs will help you answer questions about where things basically are. Now, let's look at what's there. Aquí. Aquí means aquí en España hay muchos extranjeros. Here in Spain, there are a lot of foreigners. Allí means there. Allí donde está Luis estudiando, hay cursos para ti también. There, where Luis is studying, there are courses for you as well. Cerca means near. La biblioteca está cerca de mi casa. The library is near my place. Delante is in front of. Okay? Hay un banco delante del gimnasio. There's a bank in front of my gym. Gymnasium is gym in Spanish. Okay? Very important to remember this. Sure. Vamos a comer acá en mi casa. We are going to eat here at home. Allá means there or over there. For example, el supermercado está allá. The supermarket is there or is over there. Lejos means far away and detrás means behind. Vivo lejos de la estación de bus. I live far from the bus station. Hay una panadería detrás de mi casa. There is a bakery behind my place. Okay? Encima means above and dentro means inside. Arriba means upstairs. For example, esta casa es inusual porque la cocina está arriba. This house is unusual because the kitchen is upstairs. Adentro is inside. Adentro de la nevera están las cervezas. There are beers inside the fridge. Nevera means fridge in Spanish, okay? Nevera means fridge in Spanish. Debajo means below and fuera means outside. Atrás means at the back and abajo means down. Abajo tienes a Carmen esperándote. You have Carmen waiting for you down there. Or atrás de la farmacia hay un hotel. At the back of the hotel there is a farmacy. Again, al lado means next to. Encontrarás las instrucciones al lado de la caja. You'll find the manual next to the box. Caja means box. Okay, so am I clear till adverbs, guys? Did you understand adverbs? If there are any questions, you can ask me and clear your questions. Yes, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me from adverbs, only from adverbs. Because I've done like almost 60% of adverbs today. Next class, I'm going to complete the rest, okay? Let me check if there's something I can show you right now. Just give me a second. Let me check. If there's something else I can do with Spanish. We are complete for today. Do you want to watch a video on adverbs? I can show you a small video on adverbs if you want. Yes? Okay, guys, there's a very small video I want you all to see. And then whatever questions you have, you come and ask. Okay? So I'm sharing my slide and watch this video.
When we're using adverbs in Spanish, they work essentially like they do in English. And in English, our adverbs generally end in ly. For example, quickly or professionally. In Spanish, our adverbs generally end in mente. So when we're forming, we need to start with the feminine form of an adjective, and then we add mente. So if we wanted to say perfectly, for example, we would say perfecta, which is our feminine adjective of perfect, and then add mente. Perfectamente. Wow, it's pretty easy. All right, so what if we wanted to say, for example, intelligently? He speaks intelligently. Well, how do we say intelligent? And that is the feminine form of the adjective, and then we will add mente. Inteligentemente. Let's try another one. Let's say, we'll go back to our original example, quickly or rapidly. So we have rapido, put it into its feminine form, and we're going to add mente. Now, if your original adjective has an accent, then it conserves the accent when you add the mente. Well, how do we use them? Generally, we place the adverb after the verb. So we have perfectly. He works perfectly. He works perfectly every day. The lesson is perfectly clear. We'll stick with our perfectly. So we generally place it right before our adjective. And so we are saying it's clear, but it's perfectly clear. And so we would write perfectamente clara. And finally, if we have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 adverbs in the same sentence with mente, we only have to use mente on the final one, because if not, it gets to be a mouthful. So we could say something like, he works perfectly, intelligently, and quickly So you'll notice I only put the mente on the last one. But even more interesting, I know he's a he, but because we're shortening these adverbs, we will leave it in the feminine form. So there we go. We have our adverbs. Generally, they end in mente. We put it into the feminine adjective and then add mente. And we can use them to describe verbs. We can use them to describe other adjectives. We can use them to describe other adverbs. And if you have more than 3 together, you can leave off the mente till you get to the very end. Okay, go out and try a few on your own and let me know how it goes. Suerte!
New Olay Retinol 24 Night Serum. Look how plump and bouncy.
OMG, what a night. I probably look like... Shut up, my skin looks amazing.
New Olay Retinol 24 Night Serum.
So, todo bien. ¿Habéis entendido todo? Adverbs? Any questions, guys? You can ask. Priyanka has a question. Siempre and tarde both means always. Okay. So can I use any one of them or does it depend? Priyanka, siempre and tarde do not mean always. Siempre means always. Tarde means after or later. Okay. Tarde. Tarde and siempre don't mean always. Where did you get this? That they mean always? No. Siempre means always. Tarde means later. For example, when we say nos vemos luego, nos vemos más tarde. Hmm? We will see each other later. Okay, that is tarde. Okay, Priyanka, are you understanding what I'm saying? It is not the same. Siempre and tarde are not the same. Hmm? They're different. Okay. Anybody else? Any more questions? In the video on the last part, why will we use feminine form of the verb when we're talking about a man? Okay. Was there a part where they had said that is a feminine form of a verb? Ima, in verbs, we never have any feminine form. Verbs are the same for both men and women. Only adjectives have feminine and masculine forms. Okay? When they come with the nouns have masculine and feminine forms. Verbs do not have feminine and masculine forms. Where did you find one? If you think you found one, you drop me a mail or drop me a message on Instagram. I will check it. Okay? You can drop me a text on WhatsApp as well. I think you already have my contact. We don't have a feminine form of verb. I think you're mistaking something. Any more questions, guys? Anyone? ¿Tenéis preguntas? Podéis preguntarme, es importante que aclaréis todo a tiempo. Es muy importante. Okay. Is this clear, guys? You understood that verbs? If you have any questions, you ask me right away. Clear. It's very important. Verima is clear. What about the others? ¿Qué tal todos? Hay más participantes de la clase. Yo necesito una respuesta de todos, no solo de Rima. You know, Rima is sending homework very regularly. That's a very good thing. Rima, you're sending your homework. I've checked it also. Did you see that I've checked your homework today? You've sent me a homework. Did you check it? Yes. Are you going through the checked homework that I'm giving you? Because that is very important. If you're going through, you'll be understanding and then you can come back to me for any more questions. Okay? Whatever you're doing, just make sure you're understanding what I'm saying. Okay? Yes, good. Go through it, understand, because I've made some corrections. I've made 4 to 5 corrections in your homework and then I send it to you today itself. Okay? Go through it. If you have any questions, you come back to me. Okay? And others, ¿qué tal? If you have any questions, yes. Any questions on adverbs? Did you understand what are adverbs basically? You understood adverbs, right? So next day we're going to complete the course on adverbs and then I will complete the irregular verbs, okay? And I also want to do present continuous tense verbs in Spanish. Present continuous tense. That's important. I don't know if I've done that. Help me remember that, but I think that it is there in your syllabus. I will complete that as well. Okay? So that's it from my side. ¿Está bien todo? Hemos completado otra clase acerca de los adverbios en español y espero que habéis entendido todo en la manera perfecta, ¿ok? Great. So give your attendance, guys, and we'll see each other in the next class, okay? Bye, and see you at 3 only. Unless there's a change, I will notify you that beforehand. Make sure you're attending on time and with your video switched on. Okay? I don't want your videos to be off. Nos vemos luego. Hasta luego.